How's everybody doing tonight? Let us know in the chat. Day 3. Day 3 of the ROKR submachine gun. We're also going to talk more about fitness, yoga, specifically for tonight. So take a look at this box art of the ROKR submachine gun. And then take a look at what we've built so far. I mean, it's the reverse side. So it's kind of like, you know, it's not this side. It's the underside that we built. But basically, we're starting left to right. I don't know if it's going to continue like that. And we're just going to like build from back to front. But that's where we started. Let's find out where we're going to go today. So it says segment 1. I'm not really sure. The segments have like many parts, so I'm not really sure where we left off. Well, we definitely didn't do these screws, so that didn't happen yet. G15. Is that like the last piece we did? Probably, right? I think so. I'm pretty sure. Well, I just lost the page, but I didn't PDF these. They're just photos. That's why they don't stay so well. All right. Almost. Here we are. Be more careful this time. So they want us to actually add, what is that? Like 3 screws, 3 P16s. But it's also showing what is that? M 3 times 6. But then when you look at the instructions, it just shows 3 P16s. So as far as I know, that's all we need in terms of screws. And then we need 2 pieces, G4 and I7. First time we're using the I board. So let's just find all those pieces and get started. It seems to be going smooth so far. I can't help but compare it to the ROKR AK-47. It's definitely going smoother and faster than that was, but let's see. You know, I can't really say. Alright, so we need we need G4, I7, and 3 P16, so that's 5 pieces. That brings us up to 31 pieces so far. Alright, so where's the G's? Right off the bat, we found the G's. Alright. So G4. There's G4. G4. Looks just like G1. I guess that goes on the other side. I think there's some pieces inside of here. It's like G6 is like inside of the G4. Probably got to pop that out. I'll just put it to the side until its time comes. Alright, so here's G4. And it has this like G6 like built right into it. So we'll pop that out. Now we need the I board, which I think we haven't even used the I board yet. I board. We need I7 from the board which holds the I's. Those are H's. Alright, so yes. I is this brown board. And you can sort of tell that looking at the instructions. It does look like that. The only thing with the darker color is I can't really read. In the close up I can. It's tough to read it in the just with the eyes. The piece we're looking for is piece 7. It should be this piece, right? That's the only piece that looks like it. Although there could be another one on the other side. Yeah, there's I7. Is that like ink or is that etched? I think it's etched in there, that I7, whatever. And there's an I8 inside of it. Inside of, like, this piece stays here, but this piece gets popped out. It's kind of tricky when there's pieces inside of other pieces. That actually happens a lot. And it's always tricky. What the what? I think it came out with some extras. Not only is this I8 extra. I8 extra? What, did I go back for seconds? What's going on? I guess a lot of these letters and numbers are also words. That's how text messaging works, doesn't it? People type like single characters to mean words. You know what? I'm just going to pop this out. It's not going back in. Throw it on the scrap heap. That's the scrap heap. Throw this out. Also, I think throw this out. It's just like nothing here, right? And we also got to sand this a little bit. Just came off with a splinter. All right, now we need P16. What is P16? Well, if it's in a bag that says P16, then we don't need to measure it with the calipers because it'll be the only pieces in that bag. There's nothing on that bag. All right, there's no label. P16. Here we go, P16. So we're just going to take 3 screws out of this bag. Easy enough, right? Well, I thought it'd be slightly easier. Grabbing some scissors off camera because it didn't open so easy. Try it again. All right, 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. 3 P16s because there are other screws. I think we also need a screwdriver. I don't know why they gave us 2 sizes of screwdriver, but they did. I'm not sure which. This one's tiny. It's probably the other one that we need. Let's try this one. It's a Phillips head. And what does this thing look like? I don't even know. Yeah, it's Phillips. Yep, that works. That's the one. Alright, what do we need to do? Alright, so it looks like we're working on the end with the rows. Does that make sense? Alright, now what goes on first? Oh, this is part of, I guess, the body here. So you can see how it's going to fit in that groove there. So there we go. So there's a groove here, and there's 2 pieces back here. If I can get it on. There we go. That's it. Now it's on. It's kind of like loose. Needs something to tighten it down. Probably this piece will do that. And then the 3 screws, of course, will really get it in there. So, actually the 3 screws go, I think, 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure they're going to hold that down. Maybe just that little corner is going to get held down. So we just put it like that, right? All right, let's do it. Let's see how that goes. I think I got to move the boards to the other side so that I'm more on camera when I'm working. Put the tools here, boards here, and I'll work here. Not sure if that's lined up. All right. That looks like it's lined up. It's like so dark in there. I think it's in. But I'm not going to tighten it until I get the other two in as well. Feels in. And the third one right here. It's a little dent going down to the rose. Indent, whatever you want to call it. Cutaway, is that maybe the better term? It's a little cutaway. So I'm putting the screws in. Not super duper tight yet, just in case, but I'm going until they stop, basically. But I'm not like over cranking them. Just in case. Like, I'm not really sure. Alright, I mean, looks cool so far. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, we go down to the corner here. 3 J pieces. Actually, we flipped the board over first. You see that flip board over symbol. And then we add J3, J6, and J17. Alright, so flip this over. Find the J board. This is it. 17 is in the middle of this huge... This piece is J1. I popped it out accidentally. This J1 is like a huge piece. But then this J17 is just inside of there. And then I think this is spam. Alright, that's J1. I'm sure we'll be seeing that later. Alright, J6 and J3. By the way, this brings us to 34 pieces total. Alright, J3 is a fairly big piece here. And then, is J6 the other piece? Yeah, there's J6. J6. Alright, so I think we're just supposed to drop these on here. These boards are so long. I like can't get them out of the way. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to put them off camera. They're just, they keep being exactly where I want to work. No, this thing is here. Let's move this up here. And the boards actually can go back on camera. Not that it really matters, but I'll fit them up here. How's that going? Alright, now we got some space to work. There we go. Is this a broken piece? I'm not sure. Alright, we got it lined up. The corner. These two pieces are going to be held together by the J17. It doesn't specifically say inside out, but I'll say it for them. Inside out. So there's ink here. There's a line. You can see that line on the board. So that line should face out and be visible. J17 here. Going to go over 3 pins. I'm supporting the pins by the bottom as I push it on. Oh, actually, I don't need to. There's a board at the bottom. Kind of does the job for us, the support job. It's still worth it to support it, but it's easier. All right, the J6 goes across here, inside out as usual. And this one's got 5 connectors. Whoa. Did I break anything? I don't think so. There were 2 pins there. I didn't realize that. So probably a screw is going to go in between those 2 pins. It's not really 2. It's more like a double. It's a piece that looks like a American football field goal. There's like 2 uprights. All right, inside out with the J3 along the bottom. Again, 5 connectors. Yep, 5 connectors. Any of those field goal pieces, I should have looked before I started pushing it on. There's also what's going to go here. Something didn't show up yet. None of this is like fitting on. It looks like it's fitting on, but all right, now it's going on. Took a second. Oh, I didn't talk about the yoga yet. So, yoga does flexibility. We all know that. It helps with breathing. Moves your lymphatic system. That's like the, I don't know, what's the lymphatic system? It's like you have a circulatory system, which is a bunch of like veins. And then the lymphatic system is a bunch of things that look like veins, but they carry like stuff that you don't need, but there's no heart connected to the lymphatic system. It gets moved by gravity and muscles and different sort of things. So yoga is one of those different things, not only holding the positions, using your muscles, getting into positions. It all works the lymphatic system, or it circulates the lymphatic system. I'll talk more about yoga in a second because we're talking about fitness, this whole puzzle. But for now, I just want to talk for a second about the next instruction, which is A22 times 4. Those are pins. A11. I think we have some of those sitting around. A5. A12. And sort of the big piece is the F5. So if you add this all up, it's 8 pieces. 7 of them are pins. And then there's, it says F5, which looks exactly like this J1 piece. Remember we knocked off this J1 piece? It doesn't look exactly like it. It looks something like it. All right, so 8 pieces. That's going to bring us to 42 pieces total. All right, so the A board and the F board. Just work with whatever one shows up first. That's J. That's not what we need. Is this, what board is this? I board. G. Amazingly, we don't need anything from G. This has some A's. I don't know if it's going to have the ones we need. B. H. Some more. Is that more A's? What is that? Why didn't we find the F board? Is it like a half-size board or something? All right, let's check on our scrap heap. It's a lot of pieces on this scrap heap. This is the E board, so it is a half-size board. The E board anyway. Less than a half-size board, really. And this is the F board, and there's the F5, which we were talking about. And F5 has 4 F7s inside of them. In fact, they're inside a circle. Maybe we can get that whole circle out. There we go. All right. More for the scrap pile. And that's the F5. We still need a lot of A pieces. All right. A11, A5, A12, and 4 A22s. I see 4 A22s. A22, A22, and then there's 2 more over here. All right, so let's get the 4 A22s. And now we still need... I punched out a piece. Did I just punch this piece out by accident? I'm not sure. I'm just thinking it could have been that A5 that we're going to need. No, there's A5. There's A11. And then we still need A12. Which I don't know. Maybe it's one of the pieces we punched out before, or maybe it's right here, or maybe it's this piece I punched out and lost a second ago. I don't know. We'll find out. Actually, I found it. It's a very skinny. Is this 1 or 2 pieces? Right here is the A12. Is that 1 or 2 pieces? I don't know. I think it's 1 piece. I guess so. I guess that was it. All right. So if we hold this in this orientation, then the 4 22s go 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it doesn't tell us which side is the ink side out, but we know we're going to attach it kind of like here, which doesn't really tell us which side the ink goes. Oh, there is no ink. And it wouldn't have mattered anyway. There's no ink, and it can only go one direction there. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Right, so the A22 is 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like the A22s are actually going to pin it to this piece underneath. And so is the A12, and so is the A5, and so is the A11. It's actually, no, they're not. The A22s, the A11, A5, where do they go? The A11, the A5, and the A12. A11, A5, A12. Those are going to pin to this board underneath. The A22s are not. At least I don't think they are. Maybe they are. No, they're not. Because they're hanging down here where there's nothing to pin to. I guess they're going to mean something else at some point. But for now, we're just sort of sticking them in there and they're just hanging out forever. You know, they're just going to hang out there until they're needed. They go in 2 segments. There's 5 segments total. They go in 2 segments. I think I was off camera. Let me do one more on this close-up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments on the piece. 2 segments are going to go in. And then that's going to go sort of facing down. Yeah, for example, A11 is going to connect up here. So how deep does that go in? As far as it'll go, which is again 2 of the 5 segments, 40% of the way. Kind of jammed. All right, there we go. All right, well, I'm putting these pins in. So the yoga, it's sort of like stretching. You hold positions that are not necessarily too difficult to hold. Some of them are. A lot of them you're like balancing yourself in like an awkward position, like leaning one way or another, and that sort of makes it tough. But at some point it becomes maintenance. Like if you keep doing the same yoga routine, it will at some point not be difficult. And I know that like when you're doing sports, you're always trying to get like bigger and stronger and better and faster and whatever, or more accurate. But with the yoga, you can keep working at it, but really I think at some point you're going to get into maintenance, meaning like you can already do all the positions and you choose not to challenge yourself, because holding those positions, that makes you able to like live your life. So not only is it like a cardio workout, it's like very relaxing. It's good for your breath. It's good for the muscles that you hold in position. Did I just break this piece? Be careful with this A12 piece. It's easy to like squeeze those pins together and break them. Hold it by the middle. If you squeeze it by the end, you'll break those pieces. Ooh, I broke both sides. Well, it's a very breakable piece. What can I tell you? I broke both sides. Hopefully it's not terribly important. I think the fact that there's space in the middle means there's probably going to be a screw that goes in there, which means that they're basically just stuffing, and it's not going to be a big problem that I broke them. I could be wrong, but I think that's the case. All right, so when you do yoga, you hold the positions. And that could be extremely difficult when you're learning it, but after you learn it, it becomes maintenance. You're just doing something that you've already done. But still, it's maintenance of being able to use your body, which as you get older can be very important. I have to look at the next page. No, it doesn't have it. Okay. This page cuts off, and I don't know what those pieces are. So we have to take a look at the instructions. So we're definitely going to use the spring. But what else are we going to use? Are we still on the first page? Yeah, we are. This is the last panel of the first page. So those pieces are P1, A2, and F12. So A2 and A12. Rotate the spring to separate them if they twist with each other when taking out. That just means only use one spring. The spring is P1, and then we need A2 and F12. So 3 pieces, that brings us to 45 pieces. All right, the spring apparently it's possible that there's like two springs stuck together. So I want to make sure we only take one of them. There's a little spring stuck to it for sure. Oh my goodness, that little spring is a bugger. Alright, I gotta twist even to get the little spring off it. But also, there are two springs here. You see that? So you gotta kind of carefully twist them off of each other. That's what the instructions were saying, like, be careful. Now, are these the same? Yeah, there's two of the same. But we still need A2 and F12. So, where is A2? There it is, right there. No, that's A21. We need A2. Where's A2? A2 is right here. What? How many levels are on A2? This is a crazy piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 7 tapered levels to the A2 piece. Crazy piece. Alright, so there's the P1, there's the A2, and we still need the F12. Those are F7s. Alright, F12. This piece is F12. You wouldn't really know it from looking at the instructions, that that's what F12 looks like. But I guess that's the piece. Alright, now, I think the F12 goes like into the spring somehow. Does that make sense? Yeah, you see the little notch there? It absolutely is meant to hold the spring. It's a little weird, but how deep should it go? Should we like twist it onto the spring? Alright, there we go. A12. Alright, so this is actually, the A2 is going to hold this piece on. And the only question is, where is it going to hold it? I think it's like here, maybe? And then this lines up with the spring? I don't know. Let's take a closer look at the instructions. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's the only place it really can go. So basically there's a rectangle and then there's a slit. And this A2 is going to go through the F12 piece and into that slit down there. That's the plan. And it's going to hold that spring on. And I guess that spring is going to be probably at some point important to firing this mechanism. Okay. Let's see. Come on. I think this isn't in completely. All right, let's try again. The spring is kind of like, it catches, it goes in that rectangle where I don't think it's supposed to, and then it becomes a problem to work with. All right, it's in there. A little like, there's probably going to be more to it that's going to catch too. But for now, it's just kind of sitting there. All right, next page. We're still on segment 1 of the instructions. Like, we're still on segment 1 of the instructions. Like, when are we going to move past segment 1? All right, A6 is the only thing happening in this next panel. And in fact, it's kind of like, we're kind of like boxing the spring in. It's like connecting to that little slit next to the spring. Anyway, the piece is A6. Let's find A6 and let's connect it to that little slit right there. All right, A6. There's A6 right there. I thought it was going to be longer. Yeah, I know. It's Michael Scott's favorite joke. Anyway, so how does this go in the middle one? I don't even know which okay. This goes up. These like bumps face up. And then this middle section goes into that slit, I think. Yes, because there's kind of a second slit, like a notch. So it's going to line up with that as well. There we go. Do you remember in that Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, when Joker would like talk to the TV? They didn't really do that well. I thought, in my opinion, they could have done that better. But anyway, Joker would like speak to, what's the name of the guy? I forget his name right now. Robert De Niro played him. Murray? Was his name Murray, I think, maybe? All right, so now we need... Okay, hold on a second. We need to wax this piece before we attach it. J7 and J11. So we need 2 J pieces. Is this J7? That's J1. All right, we need J7 and J11. Here's the J board. There's J11. And there's J7. J11's down here. And J7, they want us to wax this piece. I don't know how we've been waxing pieces up to this point because the wax is still in plastic here. Is this possible? This is the first time we've had to wax a piece. It's possible. All right. So, wow, there's still some like chaff on here, right? Yeah, this is spam. That's garbage. Okay, so this is where it gets waxed. It's probably going to be some movement to the gun there. Some pieces are going to slide around or something, I guess. I don't know. All right. How do we connect this? Well, it's easy, actually. It lines up with this handle. And then the pin, which is the J11, not really a pin, more like a receiver for one of these pins. It's going to go on top. So I should just line right up, right? I don't even have to understand these pins. Just line it up, and whatever pins are in the right place, those are the pins we put it on. You always should study the instructions. Even if you think you got it, there might be something, some word of caution about something. Alright, that's not fully on yet, but that's on. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now, where does this little hook here, that's where this goes? The J11? I don't get it. How does this J11 go on? Alright, let's study the picture. This shape, that's the shape it goes on. But what does it go over? I'm confused. Let's zoom into the picture. Here's the J11 piece. It's going to go on to what? One of these pieces, or one or two of these pieces? Okay. Where'd it go? What the hell page am I on? Alright, let's try and go back this way. Yeah, this is it. I don't know. I'm staring right at it. It still doesn't make sense. Did I like make some mistake or something? Why are there more pins here than in the picture? It like doesn't make sense. It's like not the same shape. This would make more sense upside down. Yeah, would make a lot more sense upside down. But that's not what they want. Maybe just up here? Like it just sits up here? Yeah, I think that's it. So it just sits up here. I think so. The reason I think so is this notch. You see this notch? It now goes through like 4 pieces of wood. So it seems like that's correct, but honestly, I'm not sure yet. We got this spring flopsing around. I don't know. Let's see what's next. The tip of the screw cannot protrude from the bottom part. So the screws need to go in tighter. But not the screws we already did. These new screws. Alright, these new screws are P13. So, remember that J1 that we kept talking about? Well, this is it. We're going to put the J1. We're now going to finally attach that. And it's just going to go on top of these existing pins. But what's really going to keep it in place is the 2 J13s. By the way, we didn't count the previous 2 panels, so we're up to 48 pieces. And now on the current panel, it's 2 screws and J1, so now we're up to 51 pieces. We might end up with a number of pieces that's higher than their counter, because as I recall, ROKR doesn't count the screws in among the when it's counting up the pieces of the puzzle, it only counts these wooden pieces. It doesn't count the screws. But we count them. I just don't know how to not count them. It just seems like to me that we're supposed to count them, so I count them. All right, we need 2 P13s, which are just little tiny baby screws. Maybe they're going to use this tiny baby screwdriver. Will the tiny baby screws use this tiny baby screwdriver? Let's see. I don't know yet. They probably do because they're so tiny. I can't even see them. They're like black on black here. Alright, let's see if the screw fits. Alright. So yoga, in addition to keeping your muscles strong, training your lymphatic system, giving you a cardio workout, it's also a meditation, because you're holding those yoga positions for like so long, and you're just sort of sitting there bored while you do it. Then it becomes like a meditation. So this piece is just going to line up with this piece. And then I think those are the 2 screw holes. I'm not really sure. So I got into, after my freshman year in college, I transferred colleges. And at the first college, it's kind of a long story. I had gained some weight my freshman year, like the freshman 15 or whatever. And I might have gained even more than that. It wasn't a problem because I was doing the throwing events and track and field. I actually got better with the extra weight, but I didn't personally like it. So the summer in between, I would every day go running, every day go swimming, and then I would... So at night, I would do the yoga. It probably all was at night because it was like after class. So I would like run 3 miles and then I would swim. I don't know how much I swam. Swam a few laps. And then the yoga, that would be at night, like when other people were asleep. I would do the yoga for like an hour. I originally was using a videotape. It was a Raquel Welch videotape. It was something my mom had taped, I think off of TV or whatever. And I think I just put it on out of a curiosity the first night, like what is on this tape? And then I did the workout. And at the end of it, I felt so like relaxed. It was I think that's what appealed to me. More even than the fitness was just the feeling of relaxation, of like sort of an hour of meditation that was also somehow a workout as well. And then I stuck with it. I think my original thinking was that I can't eat while I'm doing yoga. So instead of being tempted to like watch TV and eat at night, I would do the yoga and like I would be in my own thoughts and I would not be eating. And then afterwards I would like shower and go to bed. So that was the routine I got into. And actually between the running, the swimming, controlling my portions and the yoga, I actually got into like the best shape of my life. So yeah, no, actually, sorry. It was the next summer after that when I got into the best shape of my life in terms of weight. That was the best shape of my life in terms of like all the muscles being developed and the fat being low. But the lowest weight and the most athleticism was the next summer. And I know it was the most athleticism because I got my PR in the decathlon, and I know it was the lowest weight because I was working in a lawn mowing crew and I was doing the push mower. I was like the new guy, so I was doing the push mower, which is the worst. The riding mower is the easiest. You just ride around. The weed whacker has its own way of being annoying, but it's pretty light. The push mower is the absolute worst because you only use the push mower in places that are too big for the weed whacker and too treacherous for the riding mower. So basically you're doing all these like steep hills and stuff with the push mower, and it's just the worst possible job. And you do that like 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, you're going to lose weight. I was like stuffing myself at lunch, at breakfast, having like ice cream sundaes at night, and I still kept losing weight like crazy. But I went to the decathlon that summer and I did my best. So like I got my personal best in the high jump, which made sense because I was so low in weight. My personal best in the 400, which made sense because I was so low in weight and building up stamina. But I didn't lose much on my shot put. I was like within a foot of what I would normally be throwing, even though I was 30 pounds lighter. So that was pretty amazing. You know what? This puzzle looks like it's going to get... I mean, look at this page. I don't feel like doing this page at this hour. We'll pick up with this tomorrow. We'll start off with this challenging section. Amazingly, we're still on segment 1, but what are you going to do? I'm John Rapp. This is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night, and see you tomorrow.